Hey everyone, my name is Max, and I'm hosting a trial video for Cartoon Universe. Today, I want to talk about a little theory I have for She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Specifically, I want to look at the main antagonist of the show, Lord Hordak. Now, we know that Lord Hordak is trapped on the planet Eternia as he's attempting to create interdimensional portals with Entrapta's help, and often refers to Etheria as a
backwater planet.
But that leads to the obvious question, what planet is Lord Hordak from? One answer may be Eternia, a completely different planet from Etheria because it has an N and no H. Plus, it happens to be the homeworld of Prince Adam, aka He-Man. Now, I've come to this completely logical conclusion after looking into the lore of the original 1985 She-Ra cartoon. If we look into Hordak's backstory from this cartoon, we'll find that he once lived on Eternia as the mentor of Skeletor, arch-enemy of He-Man. One day, Hordak and Skeletor, twirling their mustaches, decided to kidnap Prince Adam's twin sister while she was still a baby. Everything was fine until Skeletor was captured and ratted out Hordak. At this point, Hordak packed up all his things, including his newly acquired baby, and fled to Etheria. He ruled Etheria from the Fright Zone and trained the baby he kidnapped, Princess Adora, to become a Force Captain. That is, until she found the Sword of Protection, became She-Ra, and joined the Great Rebellion. I hope you got all of that. But anyways, since this is a reboot, it doesn't have to follow the same exact storyline as the original, but a lot of the elements are here. The first ones who founded Etheria are travelers from another planet. They could have come from Eternia, or at least the same planet that also founded Eternia. This is reinforced by the fact that Adora still shouts, "For the honor of Grayskull!" which is a location we haven't yet seen in the show. Maybe because it's on another planet. Traditionally, it is located on Eternia, after all. Back to Hordak. He does bring Adora to the Horde as an infant in the Netflix series, just like he did in the 1985 series, and eventually promotes her to Task Force Captain. I think this means not only is Hordak from He-Man's home planet, but I believe that Adora is as well. Hordak does find her on Etheria, but he finds her on a mission. Hordak himself went on a mission, which is something we've never seen him do before in the show or since. When Shadow Weaver asks him, "Was your excursion successful?" he responds saying,
"I arrived too late. I found something, but it's useless."
This something he's referring to is baby Adora. Why would Hordak go on a mission himself and then choose to bring back this baby? I think it must be that he detected a portal opening in Etheria from his own home planet. A portal that we see in the first episode of the show with sounds of a crying baby when Adora becomes She-Ra for the very first time. Alas, when he finally made it to where the portal was, all signs of the portal had vanished aside from this little baby. So Adora must be from the same planet as Hordak, and if we're following the lore from the original series along with the hints left by the first ones, the planet must be Eternia, home of the one and only Prince Adam, aka He-Man, aka twin brother of Adora. So once Hordak and Entrapta finally get a portal open to his home planet, don't be surprised to see Skeletor waiting on the other side. Hold on, in the Netflix version of the story, Hordak is trapped on Etheria. If he fled to Etheria like in the original show, why would he be desperately trying to get back to his home planet? The answer is, he didn't. If we go way back in the lore to the He-Man toys, you can see that Hordak was actually originally betrayed by Skeletor and trapped him in another dimension. So the story we're following in the Netflix show may be even closer to the original toy line where Hordak needs to get back to Eternia to enact revenge on his former pupil. Although Eternia is not the only planet Hordak could have hailed from, another possibility is that Hordak and the Horde hail from Horde World. Now, Horde World is a planet from the original She-Ra cartoon where a character, Horde Prime, the true ruler of the Horde, comes from. He has not yet been introduced in the She-Ra Netflix cartoon, but he is highly implied to be Hordak's older brother in the original series, because Horde Prime's son, Prince Zed, constantly refers to Hordak as his uncle. This theory then assumes that Hordak was working with his older brother, Horde Prime, until one day Hordak did something to anger his brother, causing Horde Prime to banish Hordak to the backwater planet Etheria. Therefore, Hordak's motivation for getting home could instead be inspired by a thirst for vengeance against Horde Prime and a desire to seize control of the entire Horde for himself. There are some words from the show's creator, Noelle Stevenson, that may support this idea. In an interview, Noelle Stevenson talked about the possibility of He-Man and his characters entering the Netflix She-Ra show, and she basically denied the possibility of He-Man ever entering the show, claiming it would be a challenge to bring the character into the present day, and she doesn't know what her approach to He-Man would be. Although in the same interview, she did confirm that Adora is from Eternia, when stating she just wants the show to be about She-Ra's story and her being disconnected from where she came from her family on Eternia. Noelle Stevenson commenting on this actually supports the idea that Hordak is from Horde World quite a bit. The show seems to be building up to Hordak getting a portal open to his homeworld, but if the creator of the show claims Eternia is not going to appear in the show, then how could Hordak go back to Eternia? Additionally, with Adora confirmed to be from Eternia, why would they change the backstory of how Hordak found Adora? If Adora and Hordak were both from Eternia, then they could have kept the same backstory of Hordak kidnapping Adora before bailing out of Eternia and bailing into Etheria, but they didn't do that. Instead, they chose to have Hordak find Adora on Etheria after a mysterious event drew him to her. A portal did bring Adora to Etheria from Eternia, but that's not the portal that would take Hordak home to Horde World. However, this theory does not really take into account the fact that Adora still shouts for the honor of Grayskull to become She-Ra, as if we don't eventually visit Eternia, then we'll never get the chance to see the Castle Grayskull that She-Ra shouts about once an episode, unless the show decides to put Grayskull in Horde World or Etheria. Personally, I hope they choose to let us see Castle Grayskull at some point, somewhere, cause it'd be kinda lame to never get a chance to see the place that is mentioned in the motto of our main character. So with all that said, what do you think of this theory? Do you think that Hordak is from Horde World and soon we'll get a chance to see Horde Prime? Or do you think that Hordak is from Eternia and Noelle Stevenson is just lying to us to mess with our expectations? Or do you think that Hordak is from someplace else? Either way, let me know in the comments below. Thank you to Hailey for helping me with this theory and giving me the opportunity to make this video, and thank you to Reddit user BobandJim12602 for presenting the idea that Hordak could be from Horde World. It was a pleasure putting this video together, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching.